Hi everyone, this is the eighth lesson of our course, and today we're going to talk about layouts. Within Penpot, there are two possibilities for organizing and arranging elements. We have the flex and the grid layout. This lesson will be divided into two parts in order to talk sufficiently of these two topics. So, starting from the flex layout, we're talking about a tool that allows you to position elements within a drawing board through systems. When we are designing interfaces, it's no longer enough to think about positioning elements statically within a board. I'll give you an example with the elements I've arranged here within this page. Clearly, you will know that to try to give a spacing that is equal to each of these elements, we can certainly manually move each of them. For example, you can help yourself with these pin guides that are telling you how much spacing is among all of them. I stop as soon as I see the value I'm looking for, like I did. In many cases, it can still be a rather complicated procedure that also requires quite a lot of patience. At this point, if we want to, for example, eliminate one of those elements by clicking backspace, we would have to go back, realigning the elements on the row like this. But however, there is a much faster method to manage spacing and alignments within the page. To do so, we can use the flex layout after selecting all these elements. So we're doing this, then there's our layout space in our right sidebar. Click on plus and select flex layout. Okay, so this time we have the possibility to hover the mouse over this box, and you can see how each element have the same equal spacing. What we can do, for example, in this mode is to change, for example, the order of our elements. I can just take my blue square and put it, double click on your selection to do so. And for example, I am moving my blue square, I'm moving this other, and I can change their individual position in this selection. But also, we can decide the orientation in which they are arranged. For example, I go here. If I do so, I am doing an opposite orientation. So now my blue square is the last in this rectangle. If I go like this, I am creating a column. Now I'm changing its orientation. Going back here, you are going to see more or less. Okay. Within this box, we can also arrange the alignment within the space in which these elements are contained. Since in this case our box perfectly encloses all our squares, we don't have the possibility to create, in a certain sense, justified states. That is, the space that allow you to adapt the elements on the space that surrounds them. For this reason, we are going to create more space around the squares like this. Okay, if I am selecting, for example, this standard selection, I have the justify content start which is to say at the top and left of our rectangle. But if I go there, my squares are actually at the center top of my selection. Then there's the justify on the right. Those we have some other commands that intervene in the way our squares adapt to the ends of our selection rectangle while still maintaining a type of distance between each element. So for example, I am selecting this one, so my squares that are at the first and last, they touch the extremes of my selection. If I go there, I have some minimum space that surround my squares. By clicking this other one, I am creating the space that there's between each of these squares is the same that is created among the first and last square and this extreme border. By doing so, I am choosing how the alignment changes inside the rectangle of selection, so the green one. By doing so, they are going at the bottom. I can also go creating some specific values. For example, among my squares, I can create a bigger space. For example, I can digit 50, and they are actually more distant. And if I select this command, I am sure they stay at the center of my selection. If I go there, I am ensuring that the space between the top and bottom borders stays as 30. If I go there, I am selecting some space between the left and right borders, so these values would be evident if, for example, we are creating some other elements inside our selection. So if I go like this, you can see how there's like a little space between my square and the left, the bottom border. Let's go back. Okay, there are some other commands in this section named flexboard. In fact, in this case, I have the possibility of changing, for example, the extension of this rectangle in which there are my squares, but also if I go like this, the space of this rectangle became shorter. So this command is like containing the space in which all these squares are positioned. Going here, you can see how the width is fixated into a specific value. If I press this button, also my height is shorter and fixed to a specific value the same way. So we can look at is about constraints. We talked about constraints in the last video. So again, as you can see, selecting specific positions, we can rearrange our both sides like this, and all those elements, they fit in the bottom right, in the bottom right side of our board. Again, we can go back here. We can say stay at the center. Okay, well, so in this lesson, we've taken a look at this first layout mode. In the next one, we're going to go deep in the layout grid. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.